Hello and welcome to the fourth episode of our series Event Talks. In this series, we will be inviting guests from event industry having unique expertise in this industry. Today, we have someone specialized in wedding industry all the way from Malaysia. Our guest has over 20 years of experience in MICE industry and vast exposure of marketing, advertising and PR. Her vast experience and passion for creating successful events has helped her and her team create a new dimension in event management in Malaysia. She is director of Elysium Weddings, a premium wedding planning company in Malaysia, and co-founder of the Wedding Planner Cambodia. Apart from the above, our talented guest has authored two books. Yes, you heard me right, two books. All You Need Is Love and a Wedding Planner, and the second book, Happily Ever After with Good Planning. Also, Leticia is the president and founder of Wedding Professional Association. It is such a pleasure to have you on our show. A very warm welcome, Leticia.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're most welcome. So, without further ado, we just begin with our first question, which is very common question, Leticia. I asked all my guests this question because every event planner has an amazing journey. Why he became an event planner, why he became a wedding planner. So, tell us something about your journey from gaining so much experience to becoming an author to starting your own company.
Well, like any girl who was playing Barbie dolls, you always get your Barbie dolls get married together. So I've always had a passion for planning weddings. So when I got into the business, it was great because I get to do different themes, different concepts. I get to plan my wedding over and over and over again. So it's a passion for me.
Awesome. Leticia, you have been into the wedding business for how many years now?
We started in 2001. So the company has a corporate section. So we do also corporate, and we also do weddings. So I hit the wedding section.
Oh, okay, perfect. So we begin it like this. So how connected are you to Indian wedding planners, and how you guys work on Indian wedding projects, or do you have any future projects which are based on Indian clients or something like that?
We've worked with Indian wedding planners, and we've also worked with Indian couples directly. So like with the Indian wedding planners, what we do is we supply them certain things like decoration or logistics or transportation. But Indian wedding planner does the planning itself. We've also done for couples directly where we handle the whole bulk. We do the concept, we do the mood board, we do the deco, we do everything else. So we work both ways.
Okay, so
Any weddings coming up in the future? Well, everything is on a hold right now because of this pandemic. So
yeah.
nothing is in the future right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Taking forward this similar question, so when you work with Indian clients, so are this client usually based from India and taking help from planners in Malaysia, or these clients are based in Malaysia? I know your company might be handling both ways, but on an average, which type of clients do you handle more, like Indian clients who are based in India, or clients from Malaysia, Indian clients from Malaysia itself?
Well, definitely more Indian clients in Malaysia. But we do
Okay.
have one or two Indian clients from India. We've also got Indian clients from India who stay in Australia or in UK, for example, who
Okay.
also engage our services for coming in and doing it in Malaysia itself.
Perfect. So, tell us something like you feel is the best thing about weddings in Malaysia. What do you feel the best thing about weddings happening in Malaysia?
Well, weddings in Malaysia, one of the in within Southeast Asia, the five-star hotels in Malaysia are one of the cheapest. So you
Oh,
get the five-star hospitality, you get the five-star service, and it's cheaper than anywhere else in the world.
that's
So you
perfect.
get a good deal. Yeah, you get a
Yeah,
good deal. And then like in if you do weddings in like places like Langkawi, for example, um, Indian weddings are big enough that you could block the whole resort. So you get
yeah,
Four Seasons or you get a five-star hotel and you get the entire resort just for you and your guests. So you can go crazy.
yeah.
Short of getting drunk and falling down on the beach naked, you can really have a really fantastic wedding.
And Indians love that. Indians love to book the whole property and just behave like it's their home for at least 2 days and have some blast on that wedding. That's really on
Yes,
point.
yes.
So with that question taking forward, what are some of your favorite venues in and around Malaysia where couple enjoy getting married, where you enjoy planning or hosting the wedding events? What are some of your favorite venues?
Well, Malaysia is very good, very interesting because it's got a lot of diverse background. So you've got places like Penang. So Penang, you have the beach, you have the heritage and culture, you have great food. Then you have Langkawi, which is more of a laid-back resort feel kind of area. And then you've got East Malaysia. So then you've got your hornbills and your orangutans. So it's rich in seafood, rich in beautiful beaches, beautiful highlands. So we've got a lot of different type of backgrounds for weddings of all kinds actually, and all sizes.
Oh,
So one of
perfect.
the best, yeah, one of the best places is actually Langkawi, because Langkawi is a very, it gives you, it's the Asian Hawaii. So it gives you a very nice, laid back, quiet, idyllic, beautiful beaches. And yes, you can block out the whole place. The whole place is yours. The beach is yours. So it's really a very perfect destination for weddings, Indian weddings especially, because there's so many activities happening.
Perfect, perfect. So apart from wedding, as you said, your company is also into corporate events and different types of event. So can you just broadly explain what are the different kinds of event and what are some other popular events in Malaysia so that we get to know more about the Malaysian culture or in events or more about some new things that we might not know staying over here.
Well, in Malaysia, there's all kinds of events we've done. I mean, we've done conferences. You've got conferences that has breakouts. So we've done where you have companies that want to have an out-of-box events where they have a boring, dry meeting, but they then want to still excite their staff. So then they have motivation things. They have got cookouts. They've got Ironman contests. They've got Viper challenges,
Okay.
and then they do have that gala dinners and the fancy dinners on the highlands. So you can have that luxury, you can have that laid backness, you can get that go back to nature. So Malaysia offers all kinds of backgrounds and backdrops and ideas. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, in terms of logistics support and all, in Malaysia you've got really good decorators, you've got good DJs, good sound and lighting support. So when couples or when companies come and do events in Malaysia, they don't have to worry about getting the 5-star logistics. There are logistics supports here in Malaysia.
Absolutely, absolutely. And having planners like you, definitely we don't have to worry. So Leticia, apart from whatever we talked, you also talked about the Wedding Planners Association, Wedding Professional Association in Malaysia. So what made you start this Wedding Professional Association? Why did you created this whole system where wedding planners can connect to each other and network? What was the thought behind this?
Well, the association is 10 years old, and the association does not only consist of wedding planners. It consists of all wedding vendors. So you've got stationery, gowns, websites, anything that related to do with weddings. So 10 years ago, you see, wedding planning is a full-time job. So a lot of couples don't understand that. A lot of people think that it's a very fun, glamorous job to get into. So 10 years ago, there were a lot of people that used to do it on the side. So that means they were a secretary by day, wedding planner by night, or we've even had caterers who are caterers, but they also want to dabble into wedding planning. But wedding planning itself, it's planning. There's a lot of logistics and planning that goes into it. Yeah. So when these people try to juggle a few hats, then things go a bit awry, they go a bit scary, and they then cannot handle a wedding. So then wedding planners got a bad rap. So people were saying that, oh, all wedding planners in Malaysia are substandard and they can't do their job properly. Or like we even had at that time had a case where a wedding planner ran away with money. So they collected all the deposit and he ran away with money, and it came out in the newspapers and all. So the wedding industry as a whole was getting a very bad rap. That means that we couldn't be trusted. I mean, they were not reputable people in town. So we created the wedding association based on that. We wanted people to come to have a safe place, a platform where they can find wedding vendors that we have vetted through. So we've made sure that they are real companies, make sure they've got recommendations, make sure that they have been in the business for quite some time. So these are reputable people. So when couples want to get a wedding vendor, you can go and find anybody you want, but our members are people that we've vet through to make sure that they are people of good value.
Oh.
Then we also moved on to trying to tell couples that in Malaysia, we've got award-winning photographers, we've got authored wedding planners, we've got really highly recognized wedding vendors. So meaning, don't go and bring in that Australian photographer or fly in that New Zealand DJ. We've got great people here, you see. So that's why the association came about.
Oh, perfect. So it means it works like the people who are connected with this association are like verified
Yes,
vendors whom you have whom this authority has authorized to work and have checked the background, because wedding industry, as we all know, it has a very less amount of work to do to get into the wedding industry. You just have to print a card, you just have to make a website live, and you are a
the
wedding
handphone
planner, right?
done. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
exactly,
yeah. So it's
exactly.
perfect. And you would be happy to know that in India, we have recently started with WFI, which is Wedding Fraternity India, with the exact same motive
Awesome.
yeah, yeah. So we'll definitely, after this call, we'll talk about how can we shake hands on this
Yes.
and how can we interconnect the Wedding Fraternity of India and Wedding Professionals Association in Malaysia.
Yes,
Absolutely amazing.
definitely, definitely. I mean,
Okay.
as a wedding industry as a whole, we should work together. I mean, our everyone gets into the wedding industry is because they love planning weddings.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that we deliver 200% to our clients.
Yes, and the best part about this association is like the kind of energies you have around this, or everybody is connected to the wedding industry, what you love, and the people around you also love the work. So it's a different ball game altogether to work in this industry. Then, amazing.
Yes.
So let's dive into the wedding business part. So can you tell us something about what scale wedding happens in Malaysia, like on an average budget or like initial starting budget, or do you have some packages like in some countries when we work? So they have or they offer this packages like the small silver package, gold package, platinum package. So do you guys work on that system, or how do you guys work?
Well, the wedding industry in Malaysia, you do have people that offers packages. So the packages are for X amount, you get A, B, C, and D. But those packages mainly work for those weddings that have slightly lower budgets. So weddings that are a bit medium to upper scale weddings, they don't go based on packages because they don't like packages. Okay, so like people like for myself, we don't have packages because we have to customize everything. So we constantly have clients who come to you and go, whatever she has done, I don't want. So they you can't customize a package. So
Yes.
you gotta build it as you go and depending on what they want.
Yeah.
But hotels do have packages. Hotels have preset packages for banquets, for ceremonies and whatever not. But so the wedding planner's job is to take that package and then expand further because a hotel's package is pretty standard. You've got the food, you've got the rooms, you've got some deco, but it's not good enough.
Yeah.
So in Malaysia, most of the planners they don't have packages per se, so they customize and then they go based on what the concept is, what the mood board is, what the client wants.
Okay. Okay. So moving forward, tell us something about the client journey. Like we would be happy to know, like what's the process? Like how does the client get in touch with you? What happens next, and what happens next? So tell us something about the client journey in your organization.
Well, last time when we first started, it was first of all difficult to explain to people what is a wedding planner. If you ask my mother will tell me that she does not need a wedding planner. Why do you need a wedding planner?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you have to go in, you have to show them pictures, you explain to them, and then you convince them. Nowadays is a totally different ballgame. By the time the couple already contacts you, they've already checked your Facebook out, checked your IG out, checked your Pinterest out. They already know almost everything. It's pretty scary. So by the time they speak to you, they pretty much just want to see whether we've got a good vibe of how we work together. And to me that's very important as well. When the couple is interviewing me, I'm also interviewing them because
Yeah.
actually almost all my couples are good friends of mine after the wedding. So they we keep in touch and they are really good friends. So it's very important to have that kind of chemistry. And that kind of relationship. So then I understand them and they understand me, and then we can work. We can really come up with a wedding that is that is for them. So after we've interviewed each other, we speak, and then we find out details of what they want. We come up with a concept board or a mood board. So the mood board basically then paints the picture from start to finish. What the invitations will look like, what the cake will look like, what the gown will look like. But it's not set in stone, meaning it's just an idea. Then we move on bit by bit, and then we can fine tune the cake, we can fine tune the gown, but at least you have an idea of what the whole picture is. And then on the day of the wedding, it will be myself and my team to run the entire show. So the couple just have to show up, get married, and live happily ever after. So there's only one thing I tell my brides what I don't do. I don't help them find a husband. The husband, they'll have to bring their own husband. Other than that, we handle everything else.
Everything else. That's so nice, right? And that's what every wedding planner has to do, right? So so even we have this tagline for the guest. We make you feel like guest at your own wedding.
Yes.
So it's just like enjoy your wedding and just find yourself a partner. We just don't help you in that. Amazing. So with that said, tell us something about the exciting projects, some of the exciting projects you have done, or some of your favorite projects. Like, let's get into the case studies. Like, tell us some interesting projects that you have done.
Well, okay, we did one wedding for a couple that was a slightly older couple, and it was their second marriage. And why it really stuck out to me is because it was only 50 people. There was only 50 people. And the brief from the couple is, I want to make sure that every single guest enjoys themselves. It's not just about us, it's about our guests, it's about our friends and family. And they didn't want a wedding where they come, when we've done weddings at 10,000 people, we've done weddings at 1,000 people. The couple comes in, they wave to their long-time childhood friend, and they talk to them for a period of 1 minute, and then they move on. So they don't actually connect with their guests. So this particular wedding, although it was very small, but it was very luxurious and it was very niche. So what happened is we booked up an island. So not only we booked up a resort, we booked up an entire island.
Wow.
Yeah, we booked up an entire island, and this island had 3 beaches, and it has chalets all over the island, and we booked up the whole place. And every guest, they came for a 4 days, 3 nights event. So they came, we had things like Ironman contest, we had treasure hunt on the island, we had a Chinese pickup of the bride. Chinese ceremonies, they've got to pick up the bride, where normally the groom's supposed to arrive in his car and he wins the bride over. So in our case, the groom actually kayaked from one island to another island, and the groom wore Hawaiian grass skirts, and they came out with a tribal song, and then they started singing this tribal song, and then it was really fun because the guests itself really got into the mood. They really enjoyed it. So the guests itself created a storyline, and they came up with, this is a chief who's coming to win over his bride, and what the chief has to do for his bride to win. So it was really, really them. And the wedding itself really exuded what the couple's personality was. Yes. And you could really feel the love. So when you have weddings and you have guests who come and they're just coming for the wedding just because for the sake of coming, but these guests were so into the wedding that it just made everyone so happy, and it was like a nice holiday. It was really good. So that is one wedding that will really stick out in my mind.
Yeah, it's about experience to each and every guest, right? Yeah, absolutely amazing. Yeah, so moving forward, let's talk about some future growth opportunity, like due to this pandemic and everything. So how is your company planning the future things? Like, are you planning more into the digital events also? What's the situation, and what are the opportunities that you see that after this you guys will be looking at or will be taking care of?
Actually, we've already started a virtual wedding site platform.
Wow.
So couples can actually get married virtually. They can even give you money and give you gifts even on their website, which is very important for the guests.
Yes.
So there is a platform. Now the thing is that whether couples can accept getting married virtually is something that we need to try and sell it to them again all over. So we've got caterers who would actually send the food to the guests. Wow. And guests will just get a secured login with a password and everything, and they go onto this site and you can see the couple getting married, the whole ceremony. We've got an MC, there will be a talk show host that will run through the whole thing. Oh, but again, whether the couple can buy that idea is another question.
Yes, is another question.
And in June, we've already launched it, which I would love to share with you after this. We've already launched it. In June, we're having a virtual wedding fair. So vendors, vendors normally would have a wedding fair in a hotel or in a ballroom or in a mall, where couples can come and tour the hotels, couples can come and speak to the vendors. So in this sense, we're doing it all virtually. So hotels can still do a tour, but it's a virtual tour. You can still meet the vendors, but you do it virtually. So we've got a website up, and we've got vendors coming in already. We just launched it 2 days ago. So again, I don't know whether the couples are ready for this digitization, but we are trying to digitize.
Absolutely, yeah. Crisis is the way for innovation. Absolutely,
Yes.
yeah. So with this, tell us something about your book. Like two amazing book having such a beautiful title. Like, how this book helps this book does it help the clients, or does it help the aspiring planners? Who should read this books, and what's there in this book?
Okay, so Elysium Weddings does mainly middle to upper class weddings. So a lot of our clients are pampered, so they need us to babysit them. So we hold their hand every step of the way. And so this book is meant for the couples that can't afford wedding planners. If you can't afford a wedding planner, the guy just proposed to you and you don't know what to do, get the book, and it actually tells you step by step a timeline, budgeting, who does what, traditions, what happens, what does the groom has to do, what the mother of the bride has to do, how to plan your program. So it's meant for brides who want to plan their own wedding and need a helping hand.
Amazing. So, are your books available on Amazon?
Not available on Amazon. It's available on MPH Online. It's actually our local book distributor.
Okay.
And also you can get it straight from me.
Sure. So I'll just put the link below for anybody who wants to get married and wants to plan their own wedding. I'll put Leticia's book link in the description.
Awesome.
So please
Thank
do
you
buy.
very much.
Most welcome. So moving forward, tell us about something about the career opportunities for fresher, like for freshers in Malaysia, from freshers in India. So how do they get into this wedding industry? And if the guys want to work with some amazing planners in Malaysia, what are the career opportunities for them, and how does this industry work for them?
Well, in Malaysia, there's also one or two schools that actually are teaching wedding planning courses. And also in most of the colleges, there are courses for events management. So a lot of wedding planners, they do want to employ staff. The minimum qualification, they should have one or two of the certification. But most importantly, actually, it's not the certification. Most importantly, it's not a glamorous job.
Yeah.
I have eaten breakfast at 10 p.m. at night. Some of the interns that we have interviewed, they think that we walk the red carpet. We do not walk the red carpet. We set up the red carpet. We roll out the red carpet. So it's not a glamorous job.
Yeah.
So you may, because when Jennifer Lopez movie came out, everybody thought, wow, that's how a wedding planner is. No, it's not. That's not how a wedding planner is. Most importantly, you need to have very good planning skills, because wedding planner is not just about decorating the venue. It's about planning. It's about the boring logistics of when the bus is coming, whether the sun is shining this side or that side. It's the boring logistics, and nobody. There's no beautiful picture to it, but those are the boring logistics that make things happen. So you've got to have good planning, and you've got to have patience, and patience. Because couples, every single couple is getting married, hopefully for the first time.
Yeah.
And it's their own money, so you got to know how to mediate, moderate between the mother, the father, the bride, the groom, even within the bride and groom themselves. So
absolutely,
that's a lot of work. So planners, this two main things. Remember these two main things, and number 3 is we're not glamorous at all. So once you got all these 3, you're pretty good.
Yes.
So some of the students that come out from colleges and all, what they do is they just email or they contact any of the wedding planners in town. Some of the wedding planners do look for interns or employees at certain times. And then what normally the planners would do is they would hire them as part-timers first, for them to come and have a taste of the wedding and see, to realize what is involved in the wedding. They don't need to realize that the beautiful chair doesn't go there by itself. You actually carry the chair there, so stuff like that. So after they get a feel of being a part-timer at a wedding, then they will realize whether or not they really truly want to get into weddings.
Absolutely. And my audience would be happy to know that whatever I have told them, that you would also be happy to know that we have an online event management institute where we tell the exact same thing, like the industry is not glamorous. You have to do the hard work. There is a lot of patience required. Many people are crazy about traveling. Many people are crazy about staying in 5 stars, having good food. But all those part comes after the years of hard work. And yes, the initial part has to be not for the money, but for the experience, for the learning, and for the exposure. And then you automatically start to roll the ball and become good in this industry as you start to learn. Absolutely bingo answer on this. So with this, we had this fantastic interview, and the last part to conclude this interview, I'll just go with a rapid fire round where I'll ask you a question, and you just have to answer it in 1 or 2 words. Are you
Okay,
ready for it?
sure.
Okay. So your favorite destination to work on?
Penang.
Okay. Your wow moment.
My bowel movement. My
Yeah.
what movement? Sorry.
Wow moment in this industry.
Oh, I see. Wow movement. When the bride walks down the aisle,
One advice to youngster.
don't get into weddings.
uh,
It's hard work.
yeah. Your favorite wedding theme?
It has to be something. Actually, I don't have a favorite wedding theme. It's more of the wedding theme has to reflect the personality of the couple. The couple should not choose a wedding theme that's what's hip and happening. It should be a wedding theme that suits their personality. That would be my favorite.
Great, great. It was absolutely amazing to have you on our show, Leticia. And I'll put all your links. If you can share some of your work, I'll share the pictures of your weddings. And if anybody wants to connect, I'll give your email ID. Anybody can ask questions to me via comment. So if you have enjoyed this video, please like, share. And I'm also putting your YouTube channel link, your LinkedIn link, all the profiles in the description. Thank you so much for being on our show and sharing such a wonderful knowledge and experience with Asia.
Thank you very much.